Hi, everybody. Welcome to the Knitty Knotty podcast, episode 24. I am Knitty-Witch on Instagram and Ravelry, Vanessa.
Yeah, I don't usually call you Knitty-Witch. I am Diane. I'm the Knotted Bag on Ravelry and Etsy and Instagram.
Everywhere.
Whoa, my brain. Yeah.
Somebody took Knitty-Witch on Ravelry. I was not happy. So I'm Knitty-Witch.
Right. And so you started, sorry, I'm totally jumping in.
Yeah.
Go on.
No, I was like, damn, like we haven't even started cuddling yet.
Sometimes you just have to get right in there, Vanessa.
Yep.
Anyway, go on.
All right, so let's show what we're working on. What are you working on?
Well, I was going to ask you, so you set up first of all, before we start talking about our crafting, you reopened your shop. I'm so happy. I know other people are happy. I've been on you about this for like the last 2 years.
I know.
So yay! One of the great things about this self-isolation business is you got that done. So I'm really happy. Because I love your stitch markers. Even you know how I got these ones a little while ago, not too long ago, because I love this kind of thing, but there's something about it that's been catching in the yarn. I think the this piece, see how it's a double, right? Yeah, it's one of those, I don't know what it's called. It gets caught in my yarn a few times, and I was knitting and I'm like, oh, I never have these problems with Vanessa's. The problem is with your stitch markers, I only have the smaller rings, right? I don't have bigger rings for bigger needles. So like a 6mm needle, the ones I have from you. But anyway, back to you reopen your shop. So talk about that a little bit, please.
The shop is Knitty-Witch.com. We also have a Knitty Knotty podcast Facebook group now for those of you who enjoy Facebook over Instagram or Ravelry. We have our Ravelry group, which is Knitty Knotty podcast on Rav, so you can join that.
We have not been very active in it. So
well, we're going to reactivate it. It's about to get active now.
All right, Vanessa's getting in there.
Yes, I am. And then Instagram, we're using hashtags, so we're everywhere.
Yeah. I have my ups and downs. Like I haven't made a bag in months, and I'd have time now, but I'm just not motivated to do it.
Yeah, I understand.
Yeah. So anyway, if you have stitch marker needs, please check out Vanessa's. We should put our shops in the description of the video. That would be good. I don't know if you do that already, but
no, I didn't, but I will. And everything I have isn't listed yet. I'm working really hard to get the luxury charms up there and everything else that I have right now. Just the sets are up, so it's moving along. So
I love the set. I might have to get it. The numbers with the progress markers, like that's brilliant, and they're really pretty. And then I love the my problem with progress markers, and then not yours, just in general with using them, is every time I use one, I then ask myself, wait, did I put it on the first row of the section or the last row of the previous section? And I do it every single time, like in the same project. It don't work for me. I can't figure out in my head to was that number one? Like it's like my brain. So I don't end up using them very often, even when they call for them, or I could, like I'll use a paper and pen and just like keep track of I don't know, but I really like that set. I might get it anyway. And then the little jingle bells are my favorite, except when you're trying to knit in a meeting, they're not great because then they actually jingle bell, like they actually jingle. But you have colored ones now, so I might have to get those too because I really like them. I have the yarn balls on my bracelet, on my charm bracelet, so the jingle bells would be really pretty. Anyway,
jingle jingle jingle.
The exchange rate is not making me want to buy anything American lately.
No, I understand that. So like if you just wait till you see me again, I
Yeah.
could hand them to you.
Yeah, and then the other thing we were just talking off camera about, well, on camera but off recording, that so last episode we talked about that Annie's Club that we both joined for crocheting a blanket, these squares. I still haven't received my package, and we don't know if it's delayed like just by a little bit because of the border being closed, or if it's like just that package particularly had some issues. I have no idea, but I don't have it yet.
I know.
So
I've been waiting too. I've been like, ooh, she's gonna get her kid, but yeah, that's okay. Even if we save them all and knit them all at one time, still good.
well, yeah, and I haven't really been ordering much. Did I show the lace yarn last episode? Do you know? I don't think I did, eh?
I don't remember.
I should go grab it. While you're talking, I'll go grab it, because I guess what I was going to say is it's making me think about ordering from Canadian or local dyers if I am going to order something, which is good.
Yeah,
I don't have to worry about, but
I'm the opposite. I've been buying everything, and it's not like I'm loaded and I have all this money. I've just been nickel and diming myself. Like I want a little $15 this and a little $20 that, but it's like that constant influx of packages is making me happy right now. So that's what I've been doing. But
yeah,
stuff.
yeah. Okay. Do you want to start talking? Why don't I just pause the recording? I'll go get it.
Okay.
Just give me a second. And back.
And we're back.
Very possible that I've shown this already, but whatever, it doesn't matter. Okay. What you working on?
All right. So I have halted progress on my Pomme de Pin sweater from Amy Christoffers.
Yeah. You had made progress though. You knitted a lot on it.
Up to, I split for the side. So it's 3 sections right now, front, and back. So I'm doing the back portion right now, and that's where I'm at. It's a little annoying to me because like when you start, you're doing the whole bottom. So you're doing these pattern repeats over a length of a row, and it's nice. But when you get to those smaller sections, I'm literally like knit, flip, knit, flip, knit, flip. And it's driving me crazy because, you gotta like switch it around. So I just put it aside for right now. I am working on.
Could you start a different section? Or you've already done the fronts?
I haven't done the fronts yet. I could start a different section, but it doesn't matter.
Yeah.
Okay. Like I'd have to cut the yarn and it'd be the same thing. And it's fine. I'll get back to it. I want to start another sweater, but I'm not doing it until I finish this sweater.
Good. I approve that. I think that's a good, no, I do it too. Like I'd rather work on a different project that I already have on. Or you got to question yourself and say, do I even bother finishing it? But yeah, because otherwise it's going to end up taking the side. I'm saying that I have one that's been on the needles for a while, but I am not like, I don't have like 5 sweaters going. I only have 2, and I won't start one until I finish one.
Yeah. See, that's why I'm doing that. But I took a break because I got really excited about Casapinka's Blanket of Calm. It's a crochet pattern, and it's these little, you crochet. That's what I'm working on right now. I just started crocheting. I'm not a crocheter. Well, I shouldn't say I'm not a crocheter because apparently now I am.
You are.
I am. But see, they start like this, and you go around and around, and you end up with a square. And the only modification I made to the pattern was I added an extra round, like where she says stop and bind off. I just went around one more time to make.
So that shawl that you, the shawl that you sent me, and you were like, do you want to do it? That's crocheted?
No.
Oh.
No, I'll talk about that in a second.
Okay.
I just took a break to crochet. So I'll show you.
Oh.
Yeah, I just took a break to crochet. So here are some of.
Because you're like, I'm doing the Casapinka shawl, and then you showed the crochet. So I was like, what?
No. This is what I'm actually like working on right now.
Okay.
So
okay.
I have like all these little squares, because my mini
Oh,
skein
they're weave.
collection is like out of control. Like I love mini skeins. I keep buying
Right.
them. I finished that one. This one's one of my favorites. So bright. And then this is my absolute favorite square.
I look like it. I'm like this in the video because I'm trying to look at the screen. Wow.
So yeah, I've got a handful of those, and you put them together and then you end up with a blanket. And I love the scrappy blanket mini skein thing.
Right.
So I have colors in my knitted scrappy blanket. I actually think I completed a square on that. Yeah, I did. So I added another square on my scrappy blanket. So what I'm doing is I'm splitting the mini skein up between this square and the little squares. And it makes, actually I get a knitted square, a crocheted square, and a hexie puff out of one skein.
Oh, wow. And I wonder if, you know, would be cool if you attached, could you attach your crocheted square? I know you would not want to do this.
Uh-oh.
It'd be too crazy for you. But if you attach like the crochet square into your blanket.
That's just crazy talk.
I know. Oh my God.
So
my nose drips all the time.
Let me mention though that the mini skeins that I'm using and that I'm most fond of are from Space Cadet Creations.
And are they 20-gram skeins?
They're 20-gram skeins. And I've already knit a square out of this, and look how much I have left.
See, I have tons of minis, but they are from ages ago, like 5-6 years ago. Mm-hmm. And like when we first started hanging out, like they were all the rage, right? And you would go on Etsy and there's like tons of these packages, and I have a whole bag full of these minis. But I think they're mostly 10 grams or 5 grams. Like they're little, they're mini minis, you know?
Yeah, you can I've been using 10-gram skeins for these.
Right.
10 grams is enough. And then 10 grams, you get a blanket and a crochet square and a hexie puff.
Right. Cool.
So, and then I also, since we're on crochet, I haven't woven in the ends yet because I'm not an expert, but I did make some washcloths. This is before I needed something.
Oh, you did show them. I think you showed them last time. I'm not sure. Maybe you did. Maybe you showed them to me. I don't know. It doesn't matter.
I might have showed them to you. Yeah. Well, here we go. I needed crocheted some washcloths. So I needed something simple to do. So I started doing that. And then I learned how to do the squares.
Right.
So now I'm doing that. But let me talk about the Breathe and Hope shawl. So what I stopped everything to knit on is Casapinka's new design, the Breathe and Hope shawl. And because it's such a new pattern, and it was released on Friday on Ravelry at $6, and if you bought 2 skeins of yarn, fingering weight yarn, to do the pattern from your local yarn store, if they still did that, mine did, an online like live stream where you got that, then you get the pattern for free. So I did end up getting from my LYS 2 skeins of Hot Boheme fibers that she dyed specifically for this shawl. And I wish that they were in skeins, but so these are coordinating.
And you put them on Instagram, I think, right?
Yeah, I put everything on Instagram.
Yeah.
So these are coordinating. The only reason why this one's smaller is because there was a split in my yarn, so I had to wind 2 skeins, but so is this. And here's where I'm at with it, because I had to start over. I had to rip out because I screwed it up. But so
it's so pretty. I love the colors.
She calls it a
This is very not you. I mean, I know you love rainbows, but to see you knitting that color is...
I don't know. It made me happy.
Yeah.
I really wanted the color in the sample knit that she did. That's in the picture for her pattern, but she won't give up who dyed it because it's fair to the LYSs. If everyone tries to buy from, I was trying to get as close to that as possible.
No, I love the colors. I
love it.
Yeah.
So I'm doing a knit along. I know you're busy with something, so you didn't want to do it.
I'm not really into alongs. Like I want to do my own thing when I want to do it the way I want to do it.
Yeah. So I committed to doing a knit along. it runs in our Facebook group, on Ravelry in our group, and also on Instagram using the tag KKP Breathe and Hope, which is Knitty Knotty Podcast Breathe and Hope. So whoever wants to join in on that, I'm a slow knitter. I mess up a lot. I rip out a lot. So you have plenty of time to complete it. Please post pictures in the groups of your progress and chatter and have fun. So that's why I'm doing it. And I hope you guys knit along with me.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
for
it's
sure.
a design. And then
I still have my, if I work on a shawl, you know, I have my chevron shawl that I still have to put the pattern out for and finish knitting. And I have my Carnival shawl that I'm knitting for my friend in LA. So I have 2 shawls on the needles actually, and I have a third one that I haven't touched in a long time. So yeah, I don't want to start another. Yeah.
Well, here's the thing. When we got quarantined, not the first time, but in the beginning when we got quarantined, I was like, I'm going to finish all my HOs, right? Yeah, half finished objects.
Oh, okay. I was like, what's that? You finish all your hose?
My hose, yeah, my half finished objects. And
okay.
I was going to finish those, and I was like, I'm going to finish the projects that I have going right now.
I thought they were UFOs, unfinished objects.
You say it either way.
Okay.
Yeah, UFOs work too. I call UFOs like my bin of projects that have
like aside.
They're aside. That's my UFO bin, because that's where, you know, you quarantine your yarn to Area 51 over there when it's misbehaved. But I'm still knitting the Hohi Locatelli shawl. I don't even remember what it's called. I have to look into that. I'm knitting the sweater. I have socks on the needles, like 2 or 3 pairs that I noticed. And then I have, like, I was going through the UFO bin and I was like, oh my God, I didn't even know I was knitting this. Like, I'm knitting the Adama Cow, which is a gorgeous pattern. I don't remember who it's from because it's been so long. And I have to pick, it's half finished. Like, literally, I'm almost done with the shawl and I didn't finish it.
That's okay.
So I started everything new like I shouldn't have. But the Breathe and Hope shawl was just too much to resist.
Yeah, you got to do what's fun. And sometimes what was fun a year ago is just not fun anymore. It's just the way it is, right? With everything in life.
Frog it or forget it. Forget it or frog it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So what else? What do you have?
Well, I have a finished object. I don't know what I think about it. I don't know, like, these are very different colors for me, which is one of the reasons I did this. I talked about this before. This is the Chaka. It's my second one, Chaika. Let me see if I made it longer than the previous one.
I like it.
The other one I had was out of handspun, and it was shorter. I added again. You're only supposed to do like 3 inches under the armpit.
Oh, wow.
Which, 2 or 3 inches. Yeah, it is a crop top. So I made this one longer. It's like a bat wing kind of thing. And this was really tight until I washed it. And I really stretched the shit out of it because, yeah, I don't know why it was so tight. It's a very different gauge. This is actually a worsted yarn, although I would think kind of a thin worsted. And the yarn I used on the other one, my hand spun, was heavier than a worsted, I think. And the pattern does it call for worsted or, yeah. Anyway, it's a very loose, I think this is how it's meant to.
I like it. It's beautiful.
Well, thank you. I like it too. I did the color. I have 2 skeins of this yellow yarn, so I had enough. I did the edge like that. And yeah, so this is done. I really like the pattern. It's not really, the crop thing is not really me. And I usually that's okay. I usually like a more fitting sweater, but it's kind of nice to, this is really awkward in a jacket. When you're wearing a coat, and then this is not at your armpit. So when you put a coat on, it bunches up. Like it's not the most practical. Oh. Now my phone's ringing.
You too. We're ringing.
Sorry. So yeah, anyway, but I'm happy with it. I love the pattern. It's a great pattern, and you don't need a lot of yarn for it, which is really cool. And so that's Chaka, Chaika. And let me just text the person who called me.
That's what I'm doing. I'm over here because my school just called.
Oh, do you want me to pause and you can call back, or?
No, we'll be fine. We'll be fine, guys. No worries. Just interruptions and normal life stuff.
So that's that. And then I cast on another sweater that I had been meaning to make called, is it Le Pouf? Where's my, it's a sweater by Hedgehog Fibers.
Oh, I love hedgehog fibers.
My yarn is not hedgehog, but the sweater is. I think it's called Pouf or Le Pouf or something, but it's, let me see if I can. It's just got like puffy sleeves, basically. There you go.
Oh, I love it. And it's a fade.
It's a fade, and you do it with fingering weight yarn and 2 strands at a time to make your fade. And let me tell you, this turned my weekend upside down because it's not the pattern's fault. The pattern is written well. It's a good pattern. I enjoyed knitting the beginning of this sweater. But I'm using, so I didn't read properly. I assumed that I could do this with 4 skeins because I can normally make a, like the sweater that I made, the So Faded sweater that I made 2 of, I can make that with 3 skeins of yarn. So I figured 4 is enough.
Right.
But then they say 5, like that you need 5. Anyway. And then there's no clear sort of instructions on how to do the fade. It just says like change every 5 to 15 rows. So for me, that puts me in a bit of a tizzy then, because I'm like, I want to do it right and I want to have that guidance and like da 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 da.
I don't know how to, oh, sorry. I was like, my thing minimized and I was like, ah!
Oh. So let me show you what I've got. I have a lot of progress on it because I mean, I stopped spinning and I like literally am just doing this. And I'm using the yarn that I got last year that I picked up at your house. And I had gotten these 4 skeins from an Etsy seller, a dyer. I don't even want to mention the name because I feel like I'm going to, like, the yarn is pretty, but you remember when I got it, I was like, this is not the colors that I expected. Like 2 of them were, and then 2 of them weren't. Let me show you.
That just happened
specifically, yeah, I specifically bought these 4 and they were on sale for Boxing Day, thinking that they would make a great fade. But here's what happens. So this and this are very similar.
They are.
Very, very similar. And this one has a little bit more color to it, but when you knit them together, they end up looking the same. Like there's not much of a difference. And then this one is way more peachy than the pink I expected. Yeah, because I was, you know what I mean? Like, so there's this. These were the 4 I originally got. Let me show you. This is the 4th one.
Oh, I like that one.
You see what I mean? Like it's, so that's fine. The biggest problem is this yarn is thicker. I don't know why, but I can see it. Just looking at them, you can see that this one's thicker than these ones. And the label is the same.
And one might be 2-ply.
I don't know, but they're labeled as the same yarn.
Oh, really?
Like, well, yeah. And when I ordered them, I specifically ordered like the same yarn name. You know what I mean? So that I have this, you're working with the same. And what happened is it made this part of the sweater thicker, right? So where I was using, it made it thicker, and it means I have less yarn. I'm convinced I have less yarn on this. This is all I have left.
Yeah, you're not going to make it.
Well, I'm done with it. Like I've had to basically change all of my, I kind of wrote out how many rows I would make of each combination. And then I went stash diving and I found this skein from Biscott and Company.
Mm-hmm.
And that's what I'm working on now. I'm added a section with this yarn because like clearly 4 wasn't going to be enough because I
Right.
still have to do the sleeves. But here's the other thing I was stupid about. The first section is the neck. Obviously, there's less stitches. It takes less yarn.
Mm-hmm.
So I have all of this yarn left from that first one. And then like not much left of the second one.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like it's just the whole thing has been enjoyable and frustrating at the same time. Like I was angry at this weekend because I was like, am I going to run out of yarn? How is this going to work? The sleeves aren't going to, like, it's super pretty, but I still have a good 6 inches to knit on this body. It's not a long sweater either, but I mean, it's still frustrating.
Start this.
And this part was really hard to knit. Like the peachy part, it's actually thicker than above, because that yarn is thicker. And then when I was knitting it 2 at a time, like my arm hurts. I've had to put, like, I have this CBD peppermint cream. I've been putting that on because it was hard to knit it. So that's why I was like kind of going through that on Saturday and like, I hate this part. I was not enjoying my sweater. And then, so I just kind of, I mean, who cares? Nobody's going to know, but I had to switch up my sections that I had planned. Like I'll make this many rows of each, right? But if you look at the top part, like this, do you see that pale part? Like you can't really tell between the first 2 skeins.
No, you can't at all.
It's insane what's going on with the sweater. So anyway, I'm going to keep going. And if I have to find some black for the border or some, like for the ribbing, I will, because I don't know how far I'm going to get.
It's like a monster sweater.
I will not be able to match the sleeves to the body. There's no way that I'll have enough yarn. I think what I might do, even though the peach starts where the sleeves broke off, there's not a lot of it. And I think what I'm going to do is do all of the sleeves with 1 strand of this, or as far as I can get. So 1 strand of this, and then move through the other colors. You know, with 1 strand of this. And that way I don't need to do like 2, this is not going to go very far with 2 strands at a time. I think that's maybe what I'll do. And so it may not, the sleeves may not be perfectly matched to the body, which is kind of the point of a fade. But I feel like as long as my sleeves look alike and it still follows the general fade, I think it'll be fine.
You're going to rip this out.
I don't want to.
I have a feeling that you're going to rip this out. Okay.
I got through this stupid peach part with a stupid yarn that's heavier than the others. I remember noticing it when I got it at your house too. I was like, this yarn is thicker.
Yeah.
It definitely was. My arm hurts, but now I'm back in like lovely, pleasant, you know, this yarn is easier to knit, even 2 at a time. That's why I don't want to rip it up. Like, I don't want to frog it. I'd rather make do, figure out, like, if I have to buy a 6 skein and get some black or something for the ribbing because I don't have any, I'll do that. Like, I went through all of my yarn and I couldn't find anything that it was really appropriate. I'll figure it out. You know, if I have to, I'll finish the ribbing with 1 of these and 1 of these. Like,
yeah,
I'll make it work. Not impressed.
Wow.
So that's been my adventure in knitting. I finished a spinning project.
I did too.
My loop bats. Again, I'm not, so this was me not that I wasn't smart about it. I just made a choice that I then kind of regret it, because loop bats are not all of the same weight.
Yeah.
And I know I had one that was like 5.3 ounces and one was 4.5 ounces. And I didn't think there would be that much of a difference in once they were spun. But it did make a difference. So I ended up with a lot of wasted ply.
You know what I do when that happens? That's happened to me. Not that's happened to me, but what I did was I was spinning some fiber. And then when I picked up, like I left my spinning. And then when I picked up again, I couldn't remember what ratio I had it on, what whirl, like section of the whirl. So I put it on the one I thought it was, and it was not the same one. So I spun them at 2 twists. So I had a lot more left over from one. So what I did was chain plied it into a mini skein.
Yeah, I can't chain ply.
Well, that's on your list.
I've tried. I actually tried with this one.
I'm not that great at it.
I couldn't do it. And then I thought, okay, I'll just make a ball and I'll do like a double ply, right? I have a little bit of 2 ply from this, and I couldn't find the end. I couldn't find the end.
That's right.
I tried with Scotch tape, tried that trick. I couldn't find the end at all. And I just cut through the whole friggin' thing. I was so over it. I just cut it all off because I couldn't find it. I was like, I'm so done with this, whatever. So I do have, this was my first 3 ply. I can't remember. Shoot. Oh, I don't think I wrote it down on a card. I took pictures of my my counter. I think I have like 13 or 1400 yards of this yarn.
So pretty. Is it like a maroon?
Yeah, it's like and again, this is kind of, I've spun this kind of color before, and I'm not gonna lie, I chose these 3 loop bats because they weren't my favorites. They are colors that I don't normally gravitate to, like this dark red. But I love the loop bats. I love the sparkle, how it's just casual.
I love loop. If I can spin with
Very
just
understated. So I'm happy with this. There's a little bit of green here because one of the bats I had green in it, and I didn't get it into the 3 ply because one of my plies was so much shorter than the other 2. But I still have really good yardage. I think this might be a sport. So I feel like 1400 yards of sport is, yeah, I'll be able to do something out of this. And you know me, I don't care if the sleeves don't match the sweater. And then I have a little bit, I think I have about 400 yards of this. This is just a 2 ply of leftovers. So this is like maroon and green, basically.
Is that the same fiber?
Yeah, this was the leftover. So I had a bunch of one left over. I think it was like this green stuff. And when I was plying the 3 bats, not plying, when I was spinning the 3 bats, one of them I could tell just visually from like how much of the bobbin was taken up that I would have too much of that one. So I actually took out a big portion of the last part, which was purple, and it was just sitting aside. And when I finished the 3 ply and I had a lot of this green stuff left, I thought, well, I'll just spin up the rest of the purple on another bobbin and then have more 2 ply to add to this. So I spent a whole evening spinning the purple. And then when I got to plying, that's when I couldn't find the end of the green. So I spent a whole evening spinning the purple so that I could use up the green, and then I ended up not being able to use either one.
You know, because you said that you lost your end, that's actually happened to me before, and I did not find it. I had to cut mine too. I've been spinning to, like, you know, you're holding the fiber, right? And it kind of clumps up a little bit, like before you graft. It like comes together. Like, so like you're spinning fiber and it's wide and then you're
Yeah.
spinning into a skinny.
That triangle, yeah.
Yeah, like into a skinny. So that thick part of the fiber, I just didn't spin it and I left myself like a little handle on the end of it. So I wouldn't lose.
Oh, yes. Yeah. I normally do that, but this was like the end of it. And I try to spin, you know what I mean? Anyway, it just, I didn't obviously expect it to do that.
That's okay.
So that was really frustrating. So I started a new spinning project. I didn't take the bobbin off, but I have not been spinning this week because I've been focused on, and I work during the day. So but because I'm at home during the day working, I spend more evening time than I do when I'm usually going out to work. I don't know why, but anyway. So I spent so much time on this sweater and I just put the spinning wheel aside. But I'm working on some fiber that I bought from Cherie, Kirby Werby.
Less fiber?
Ages ago.
Ooh.
Yeah. And it's so pretty. I don't know if you can see the colors, but it's like teal and purple.
I love it.
Black, and it's sparkly. And then I'm doing another 3-ply. So I actually took the time to split this out into even quantities. And I have these like really beautiful rainbow.
Oh my God, I love that.
Fiber from her. So one of them is sparkly and the other one isn't. And I have over the years torn into these. Like for a while I was doing felting, like I was making scarves and I needed black. And so I went into these and like grabbed the colors that I wanted. So they're not even or anything, but they're really, really pretty. So I've got a sparkly bag and then I've got a non-sparkly version. So thought they would all look nice together. I really like the whole 3-ply thing. Oh, this one has a bit of sparkle in it, maybe. Anyway, so I split them up into 4 quantities of like 4.2 ounces each. So this will be fun. I'm excited about that. And that teal and purple and black, it's a braid. So what I'm done is I pull, I've split them lengthwise into like, I don't know how many sections. And then I'm pulling them out because I want the colors to be as combined as possible. I don't want to have like a gradient, or not a gradient, but I don't want to have long stripes. Yeah. So I'm trying to blend as much as possible.
You know, now that you said that, I don't know how. So are you done with your spinning before I show what I have?
Yeah, after this, all I have to talk about is that yarn that I bought.
Okay. So I finished spinning 4 ounces of
so pretty.
Knitty in Colors Ain't It Fun?
Mm-hmm.
I have 4 more ounces to see. That's what I meant. I left myself a handle. Mm-hmm. So I don't remember if I split the braid or if I drafted it. It looks like I split the braid. Now I'm going to have to figure it out. And it's so funny because when I messed up and I told you that I spun the 2 different yarns on the different ratios, it was the same colorway.
Right.
I messed it up. So I went and I bought more so that I could properly spin it this time. And now I'm like messing it up again.
And I think I have those 2 braids. I have those as well.
They're my favorite. Ain't it fun?
I looked at it because I know I bought some. So this is still stuff that I picked up when I went to your place. Like before we went to MDSW, I ordered some stuff and I had it sent to your house. And so I picked it up. My MDSW was already at your house. Mm-hmm. But I was going through my stash last week. Because I wanted to plan future projects, and yeah, I think I have 2 of those braids. I also have. Do you remember there was that black one with just little bits of color in it, and I had ordered like 4 ounces for you and 8 for me, and then it came in like one long braid.
Yeah.
And you had to split it,
that, right? Yeah.
Yeah, you had 4 and then I had 8, and so there's that too. I don't know if you've lost track of that one.
I actually have, because I'm like, ooh, what was that again? So it's really funny because I'm on Instagram and everyone's enabling me to buy stuff. And like everyone's just got beautiful fiber, and I had my finger on one and I was about to buy it, and I looked over to my fiber stash and I was like, yeah, girl, you're kidding yourself. Like, just stop.
Yeah. Yeah, that for me too. And I have enough projects, and we've talked about this before. I really want to wait until something really grabs me and that I'm like, I have to have this.
Yeah.
I have so many different colors and so many different projects like that I can do. There's really, it's just that sometimes you want to get something new, but I have so much that in the past was, I have to get this. I want to spin through a lot of that before I buy anything else. So, speaking of which, so I don't know if I showed this last time, but I'll show it again. I think I might have, but it might have been just me and you. So I bought this lace. It's so pretty.
Is that the colorway I wanted?
No.
That is so pretty.
So again, I don't know if you see the colors really well, but it looks this
really
beautiful
pretty.
Teal, light teal, I would say, or like an eggshell, like a robin's egg with these blips of color. So this is to make, so this will be one of my next projects. I opened this up. I'm going to make the sweater called Machi, Machi, by Rievive, Rievive. And so it's with lace, two strands at a time.
And that'll make like a sport or a fingering?
Sport.
Okay.
And it's this sweater.
Oh, very nice.
Right? It's kind of cute, and it's got this nice sort of sleeve decoration, and it is knit in pieces, which I don't love, because that means I'll have to put it together, like sew it together.
That's why I still have the Mazzy cardigan.
But the thing is, and I should have enough yarn, but I have a pink lace that I don't know, there's like a detail on the sleeve, and I think it's knit separately. I don't know. So if it is knit separately, I was thinking I could even put like a strand of pink with a strand of this, just to make it a little different on the sleeve feature, but I'll see once I start knitting it. But I should have enough yarn with 3 skeins, because that's what it calls for.
That's awesome. That's so pretty. It's going to be awesome.
So I think that's it. My arm literally hurts. I'm like, all the knitting and the winding, and because I wound all of these by hand around a toilet paper roll. Wow. Because I have to knit from 2 strands. I'm too lazy to go get my skein winder.
I want an electric one.
I mean, I at least put them on the umbrella, whatever it's called.
The Swift
thing. The Swift, but it's still manual, so you keep having to pull the yarn, and then
Oh, yeah, I have, you know what? I actually do have a skein winder, because I was dyeing yarn, and I have the Crazy Monkey skein winder, but that wasn't what I was mentioning.
Are you thinking of getting back into that?
Yes. Yes. We were talking about it yesterday. So I might be dyeing yarn again. Me and Brandon.
Oh, okay. I think that's fantastic.
And stuff. So we were talking about where we're going to set up, and because I'm after being home in quarantine, I've never really liked working, and I know like no one likes working, but some people do. Some people really like it, but I just love being home and having my family, and kind of like taking things slowly, and no one's over my head yelling at me, or I'm in charge of myself, and I kind of trying really hard to make that happen.
It might be like a product of the environment that you've worked in, right? But yeah, like I like going to work. I like the social aspect. I like having a schedule, and you know, like I like it. I enjoy it.
Job that I like everyone in. Not that I like everyone in, but like the hair salon drama.
Mm-hmm.
All around you, and I get caught up in it, and I don't
Yeah.
want to be, and I'm just like over it. And then there's this girl that was starting problems with everyone, and I'm getting called in the office like, what's going on? And I'm like, this is petty, like I don't want to do this anymore.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm thinking of switching away from like the hairdressing and going into the yarn dyeing, but I'm still a makeup artist, so I'm still doing makeup. I have weddings booked and everything. So
yeah, you can, there's stuff like that you can do from home, or you can do it, you know, yourself, or you can, there's so many different variations of that can allow you to continue doing that if you know, you still love to do that. We should wrap up soon. Was there anything else that you wanted to talk about with your projects?
no, I think I'm all good. I noticed that, or I just remembered that I didn't show my spindle that I just got, so I must show that next time and pull some stuff together. So, all right. Well, thank you everyone for watching and spending time with us. If you liked our video, please subscribe and support us. We love bringing you content. We love chatting together.
And please share with other people, because Vanessa and I are like, how I saw somebody, I'm not throwing shade, I'm just trying to figure this out, because I don't necessarily get, and we're not doing, we're just doing this because we enjoy doing it. But I saw a knitting podcast with this lady who's by herself, and she had like thousands of views for one episode. Like, I don't mean I mean like her first episode. And we have like over 20 under our belt, and still only have like about 50 subscribers. So, and not that many views. So I'm curious about, like, I don't think it's content related, because there are people who do one or two, or there are people who do it like we do, or who are in one place, or like, it's anybody have any ideas on the best way, other than like tagging specific words or whatever? And yeah, maybe if I were on Instagram, like 3 times a day posting stuff and tagging, maybe, but I don't know. I don't think that that's necessarily it. Like, I don't understand how one person has one video, one person with one video gets like that many. So I don't know. I can't wrap my head around it.
Well, I love us.
Hey?
I said, I love us.
I love us too.
And help us get the word out there. Also, we had a couple new subscribers. We had 2, I believe. And we want to thank you for subscribing and for finding us. And yeah, so welcome. And I think that's it. So thank you all for watching, and we will see you next time. Bye.